All right, peace and greetings, YouTubers. So, Essence Festival 2018. Let me just go ahead and say I really enjoyed myself while I was down there. New Orleans was a great city to visit. If I have to be honest, my favorite thing about all of it was just the food. More than the concerts, more than the parties, more than everything else, I really loved the food. Like, I plan to go back just to eat, to be honest. I'm going back to New Orleans at some point within the next year just to go eat, because there's so many other places I wanted to try and visit, but we just didn't have enough time because there was just that much to do. New Orleans was a really great place to visit. I don't know if that's because it was Essence Festival, and so it was I don't know if I got the real New Orleans or if I got like Essence New Orleans, but I had a really great time. Just some quick backstory. I knew I wanted to do something different this summer. I just said, I don't really get to have these really great elaborate summers because I'm running summer camps and I got other things going on and trying to finish different projects and stuff like that. So I was like, you know what? I just want to step out the box for just one weekend or two. Let me just live it up a little bit more. Let me not be so serious. And so back in, I think March it had to be March, maybe April. I just saw the announcement and they had released, who was going to be the lineup for Essence Festival. And I've never been. It's never really been something I really ever was pressed to go to. I wanted to go back in 2010 one year, but we never actually made it. And so other than that, I was never really pressed to go. But then I saw the lineup and it was like, okay, Snoop Dogg, it's The Roots, it's Erykah Badu, it's Miguel, it's Jill Scott, it's Mary J. Blige, it's Fantasia. I was like, okay, yeah, I definitely want to go. And so, I called up a friend. I'm like, hey, are you down to go? And I was like, yeah, we're in this. Let's go. So I bought the tickets. And the crazy thing is the tickets were selling out so fast. Like they announced it, I don't know what day, but I bought tickets the same day it was announced. And within the time that I bought it, because I think I bought tickets maybe 4 or 5 hours after they put out the initial lineup, the seats, all the good seats were already gone. Like, I was trying to be in the front on the floor. Like, for most concerts, if it's a more visual show, I like to be in the front. If it's a show centered around, just straight vocals in the band, I'm fine sitting in the back or bumping my head on the roof. But for the visual shows, I like to be up front. And since Janet was one of the headliners, I knew I wanted to be close to the front. Couldn't get seats in the front, so I had to be in the back of the floor or like the back of the middle of the floor. I'm like, I guess. And so I had our tickets, just like black folks who waited to the last minute to buy our plane ticket to go. So the plane tickets cost a kidney and a lung. I was like, dang, and we flew Southwest. I'm like, how are we paying all this money to fly on Southwest? And I was already nervous to fly on Southwest because, recently they've been having planes fall apart in the sky and windows and stuff flying out and pieces of the plane cracking and stuff in the air. And I can't imagine being on a plane 37,000 feet up and you watch part of the plane fall off and you looking out the window. I was like, I don't want to experience that. But flight was cool. And actually the flight was kind of lit because pretty much everybody on the plane was going to Essence. So everybody on the plane was already drunk. And I might have been the only sober person when I got on at first. I was trying to be all super deep. I'm trying to finish this book, this Dick Gregory book that came out last year on Audible. So I'm hopefully they're, trying to listen to that. And the whole flight, yeah, I said, and he said, because we said, what you said, I didn't say. I'm like, damn, will y'all shut up? So eventually I was like, let me just get a drink, man. So I ended up getting a drink or two. That helped me relax. And before you know it, I was just as loud as everybody else on the plane. Like, I felt like the whole plane was having a conversation. It was like one big conversation on the plane. I don't know how you can explain that, but it was like row after row talking across and back and forth. It was kind of cool. The camaraderie on the plane was kind of dope. And so get to New Orleans, we catch a cab. The cab driver talks our ear off for like 30 minutes, man. I was like, my brother, we got you. Thank you for giving us all the insight about the city, but we got it from here. Thank you. But really what it is, it's just the Southern hospitality. People are very friendly, very kind, and so I had to DC sometimes can be a little snobby. So I had to make sure I had to check my ego at the door. And so we stayed at the Autograph Hotel. It's one of the subsidiaries of Marriott franchise. And the cool thing about the hotel is that it's right by Bourbon Street. It's right by everything. So you can literally walk to everything. You can also walk to the Superdome from there. I was like, perfect. And so, we drop our stuff off. The first thing we decided to go do, now mind you, we had a choice because Essence Festival, it's a bunch of stuff. It's just not the concerts at night, but during the entire day, they have all these events at the convention center. And so there was this symposium. I wanted to see Regina Hall because I don't know if you guys know at this point, but Regina Hall is probably one of my favorite people in the world. Like, I really love her. Like, I know I'm too young for her, but she's not too old for me, if that makes any sense. And I know people try to hop on the Regina Hall bandwagon after they all hopped on it after 2012, 2013. But I just want to say I've been loyal since Scary Movie, so everybody else can fall back. Don't be trying to jump on the Regina Hall bandwagon now. I've been trying to tell y'all since 6th grade, but y'all didn't listen. But anyway, so we didn't make it to Regina Hall because we decided to go to Bourbon Street. And when I tell you that this was just the livest thing I could think of. It's just music and people dancing and people in the streets. It's like a big giant parade all day and just people everywhere. And the other thing that was dope about it is, and I'll say this about the entire festival, is there was no kind of chaos, no drama, no nothing the entire time. So when you have, tens of thousands of black people, because I think they said it might have been possibly up to 100,000 people who came into town just for that event, maybe even more. When I tell you there was no anything, there were no fights, the police didn't have to drag nobody out, it was none of that. So when people always try to say, oh, black people can't get together without something happening, that is not true. Okay, it was nothing but positive vibes the entire time I was there. And so we're on Bourbon, we go to some restaurant, get some food. I don't even remember the name of the restaurant. Food was cool. I was like, okay. But it wasn't super great. I'm like, maybe we just picked the wrong place to go to. So the food was all right. We hit the rest of Bourbon. There's music playing. I kept hearing this random screaming like, ah, oh my God. I'm like, oh Lord, there's some drama already. But then when I looked, it was somebody holding like this big giant snake. I think it was like a python or a boa constrictor or something. And so I was like, oh, he's letting people take pictures with the snake. I was like, oh, I want to do that. My friend was like, are you crazy? I'm like, no, not at all. I want to do it. I'm like, how much you take the picture with the snake? He's like, oh, $5. And now, mind you, I don't even know if this guy is professional or nothing. This snake might not have even had a little venom taken out. I was like, yeah, I don't care. Let me get in the picture. Because at this point, I done had a drink or two anyway, so I'm living off of confidence. And so I went, took a picture with the snake. There it goes. I sent that crap to my mom. My mom done called and cussed me out. Like, listen, I ain't got no life insurance on you. You don't got time to be out there getting killed or nothing. I don't have time. I'm not flying out to New Orleans for no mess, Michael. I'm like, okay, mama, I'm good. And so that was a lot of fun. And so we just hung out on Bourbon Street in that whole area for like a good 2-3 hours. And we ate like 2 or 3 more times. There was this kind of dessert thing. I can't remember what it was called, but it was really good. We got that. Really just, we just went place to place. Checked out the stores, everything. The music was great. And then we're like, okay, we need to go to Superdome because it's getting later. We need to go and see the shows and stuff. And so we were like, let's stop back at the hotel first. Let's put our stuff down. Bad choice. We put that stuff down. And you know how sometimes you mean to just drop something off and run back out the door? No, we dropped stuff off. I sat on my bed. She sat on her bed. And then it was like, oh, shoot. Like, we done took a nap. I cracked my eyes. It's 8 o'clock. I'm like, yo, we got to get up. Like, we about to miss the rest of the show. And so we were almost this close to not even going because we were that tired. Because, if you fly in the same day and just go straight to the festivities without kind of cooling down or taking a nap or something, you're already drained. So you add in the food and the liquor and the walking and the heat. Like, we were done. And I was like, listen, we paid too much for these tickets. We got to go. So we got up, get to the Superdome. And it's real cool. When we get in there, Snoop Dogg is performing. And so with Snoop Dogg, he's doing his piece. Now, we missed most of Snoop, so we're at the end of his show, and he's doing his gospel portion. Because, he has a gospel album that came out. And so he's doing his bit. And now the only issue I had with the entire festival is the sound system. It seemed that the sound system was trash for everybody who wasn't the main headliner. So for all of the acts who came on before 9, 10 o'clock p.m., like the sound, it was too much bass, not enough treble, and so you felt the song, but you couldn't hear everything. The clarity wasn't there, and so it was kind of just blaring. And then you got to remember, you're in this big, giant Superdome, and then you got like 60, 70,000 people in there hollering and making noise, and it's just a lot going on. And so the sound was kind of crappy. And so when the Clark sisters came out, remember, the Clark sisters live in the land of belting and hitting the highest note known to man just because they want to do it for fun. So all 4 of them are hitting the Clark sister notes, and I know it's supposed to sound good. I know what it's supposed to sound like. They didn't sound bad, but what was playing back out of the speakers wasn't great. And so I'm just like, man, I hope it's not going to sound like this all night. And and then the other issue I think I have with the festival is really hard to enjoy, festival shows because the audiences sometimes suck. Mainly because most of the people who are there for a good time. They're not there specifically for a certain artist or anything. And so sometimes the audience can be dead when people are performing, and you can't really read the energy of the crowd. And on top of the fact that they had super lounge shows going on in the Superdome as well. So, some people were going here and going there. So you may be in your seat, and every 10 seconds somebody has to walk out of their row because they want to get a drink, or there's people walking to the other section, or they're going to the super lounges to see the other shows because like Wyatt was performing at one of the super lounges and some other people and everything like that. And so it's hard to sometimes focus in and just enjoy the show because there's so much going on around you. It's kind of like standing in the middle of a circus or a state fair, and then there's somebody singing on a stage, and there's a bunch of stuff going on around you, and you're supposed to try your best to pay attention to the stage. That's what it felt like. But Snoop was cool. Clark sisters got it in. He brought out John P. Key and Fred Hammond. Like, his whole gospel portion was real lit for the pieces that I could understand with the sound. And then after Snoop went, let me check my phone. I gotta remember this lineup because there were so many people. Like, I'm gonna forget half the people. I'm gonna just tell y'all now because there was just that many people there. So then the headliners for that night, that was The Roots, Erykah Badu, and Jill Scott. And I say that was a really, really fun show. I really enjoyed it. Like, they had a really great way of just bonding together because it wasn't like, it was weird. It was because it was like they had it was one show, but it was 3 shows in one at the same time. So the Roots were doing their piece, and then Erykah was doing her piece, and Jill was doing her piece, and they would keep switching and coming in and out and coming in and out. And sometimes it would be Jill and Erykah on the stage, or just Jill and the Roots on the stage, or Erykah and the Roots on the stage, and this, that, and the third. Really great. You know, just the vibes were really dope. And then Anthony Hamilton came out, and so, you know, all the aunties in the audience got the hollering and screaming. Like, listen, Essence Fest is an auntie parade. That's who it's for. It's for your auntie. Like, aunties coming in, they just in there having a ball. That's the other thing. I think that movie Girls Trip just inspired a bunch of groups to come out there and really do girls trips, because I saw so many groups of people with like matching shirts and something trip 2018. I said, yeah, this movie done influenced everybody in here, huh? So, you know, Anthony Hamilton does his bit, and it was dope. And then, you know, they wrap up their piece, and now they were the headliners that night. And at this point, it's 11, maybe midnight. And so the show's been really, really good. And right at the end, you know, they're thank you, good night, out of nowhere, you hear, wait a minute, hold up, y'all gotta let me get some songs. And I'm like, who is this? And it's Kirk Franklin. I said, why didn't you come out during the gospel portion? We ready to go home, we sleepy. But he comes out, he does a few throwbacks. It was actually a lot of fun too, and it was interesting because he had Jill Scott and Erykah Badu on stage singing along too. I said, oh, okay, because you know, Jill and Erykah, I don't really know everybody's religious associations, but Jill and Erykah they don't really talk too much about the church or anything, or gospel music, so I didn't really know they were into that. So it was kind of cool to see them up there singing that as well. And so Kirk was cool, but then he wanted you to talk to your neighbor and hug your neighbor. I was like, all right, man, everybody here drunk. Why you trying to annoy us all? But it was cool. It was a lot of fun. He did Melodies from Heaven, which, you know, every black person knows if you grew up in the 90s or the 80s. Everybody remembers that song. And so that was kind of cool. And so that first night was probably the most uneventful day, because we just were tired. So we went back. Second night and the third night were probably my favorite. I think I had the most fun on the second night, but the third night was my favorite show. So the second day, it got better. So we decided we wanted to rent a car because we wanted to go and travel and do some other things as well. And so we go and we rent this car. And so the car we wanted to get wasn't available. And so they're like, well, the only car we have available, it's a convertible Camaro. Okay, let's get it. And so we got this convertible Camaro. It was like a brand new one too. Yo, we rolled with that top down the rest of the trip. The funny part was it took us forever to figure out how to make the top go down. I was like, look at us not having nothing, trying to mess with stuff that we can't afford. We were sitting here for 5 minutes trying to make this roof go up and come down, and then we finally figured it out. And when I tell you we were riding, you couldn't tell us nothing like the rest of that day. And so we went to this place. I think my favorite restaurant, it was called Appleines or Appleline, something like that. When I tell you they had the best breakfast brunch I've ever had, I got this. It was like an eggs Benedict, but it was made with crawfish tail and some other stuff I can't even pronounce. But that mess was so good. I literally was going to order a second one, but the first one was $30. So I was like, let me just get a waffle on the side to go with it, because I was still hungry. Like, that food, man, that food was so good. It was, just think about it. Like, I'm going back just to get that. That crap was so good. So the food was super, super dope. And then, so after we ate, one of our friends that we knew from Howard was like, oh, I have access to Issa Rae's party. You might want to come and meet us there at that. We're like, oh, okay. So, we went and we drove the car back to the Superdome and parked it in the parking garage. We were just going to leave it there for the rest of the day and walk the rest of the way. And so, we get in the cab, we get to it's not at the convention center, but it's at this hotel. I forgot the name of the hotel, but it's at a hotel somewhere close by. Get to the hotel. We don't know where this friend is at. They're not answering the phone. We done went out here. We looking like peasants sitting outside of this party. And mind you, this is like some exclusive HBO kind of mess where everybody's not even supposed to be in anyway. And so we're just chilling in the lobby. And so while we're sitting here waiting and chilling to hear back from this friend, I'm just watching all these different celebrities just walk past us. And so I'm trying to pretend that I'm somebody important, because I'm like, y'all not about to have me looking like no groupie. So I'm sitting there. The whole cast of Insecure comes past us. So like Issa's right there. The girl that plays her best friend on the show is right there. The really, really tall guy that kind of looks like Jenna was right there. Like, they're all like sitting in our section and everything. I'm just sitting there chilling with my little coffee that I got from the cafe. And, just vibing. And then the dopest part was Sheena Arnold and Tisha Campbell walked past me. Now I was like, how y'all doing? And, hey, baby, hey. I'm like, okay, cool. And inside I'm like, yeah. Just because there's a nostalgia that comes from your childhood when you see some of your favorite people. And so, eventually, for them, we're like, we're wasting time. Let's just not do it, because they're nowhere to be found. And at this point, it's been an hour. So we're like, F that party. Issa Rae, y'all are cool and all, but we're not about to sit out here. We're not pressed to be in this party. So we leave. And mind you, I ran into like 3 other people from Howard. I'm like, dang, every time I go somewhere where I end up in a situation where something has gone wrong, I always run into somebody from Howard. Like, y'all know I work for a magazine too. And one time, I was doing, either it was Tribeca Film Fest or the American Black Film Festival or Urban World Film Festival. I can't remember which one. But for some reason, my press pass did not get printed out, and they didn't have it at the little press box. And so I got stuck outside of one of the events, and I'm sitting here cussing out all the people. Then I happen to look to the left. It's like 3 people I went to school with. I'm like, great. But anyway, so we leave. We go to the convention center. Convention center has like a million different things going on. I mean, it's panel discussions and food and little mini concerts and life tips and this and that. It was so much going on. I couldn't even process it all. And so my friend was like, well, I want to see the Iyanla thing. I was like, Iyanla? I guess. So we sit through like one of Iyanla's sessions, and I missed the first half of whatever she was talking about, but all I got out of it, she kept saying something about pull it out your butt. Pull it out your butt. You have to pull it out your butt. I'm like, what? Pull it out your butt. Like that laugh she does, where she kind of sounds like Roger Klotzoff Doug. I'm like, okay. So Iyanla, eventually her piece, it made sense. It was pretty much just talking about, when life is not together and how you have to really find the answers within yourself to make things, the same kind of stuff people spew all the time to encourage people, that kind of stuff. So that was cool. And then it was like, okay, I really want to get back to the Superdome because that night was going to be Xscape. I didn't want to miss Xscape because I really liked them. And I saw them in November, and they had a really, really great show. So before we went there, we went to this place called Redfish Grill. Again, the food. My God. We ate. We I think we spent, and it was just 2 of us at that. We spent almost like $230 just eating because we got meals, appetizers, drink, dessert. We just eating. We were so sleepy by the time it was time to go to the Superdome. So we get to the Superdome and Xscape is on. Xscape kills it. Fun show. I love Xscape. They're so much fun to watch. And like I said, I don't understand why Candy sounds the way she does when she's on TV, but every time I've seen them live, her voice is intact. It's just on point. Everything's together. They were a really great show. They were a lot of fun to watch. Right after Xscape, Queen Latifah was like the next major headliner to perform. If I had a least favorite portion or performance, it had to be Queen Latifah's. No disrespect to the Queen, but man, this is the issue that I think happened. She's had a huge jazz career. As a matter of fact, she sold more of her jazz records than her hip hop records. So she wanted to kind of combine the best of both worlds. So when she first came out, she came out, my name is and everybody, yeah. And mind you, everybody in there is drunk. Everybody's dancing in the aisles and stuff, ready. And then she was like, I'm going to slow it down a bit. And so she started doing all her jazz numbers. And it was cool for the first 2 or 3 songs, but then when it sunk in that, okay, this is going to be the whole set, I was like, And mind you, I love jazz. If you have my album, there's lots of jazz on it. But for this event, because it was more of an upbeat, celebratory type of thing, I just didn't think the jazz numbers really fit for the show. Or at least she probably should have cut them down more and had a better balance of her doing her Queen Latifah tracks that we know her for and the jazz stuff. Because, she'd be like, all right, we're about to speed it up a bit. All right, y'all ready? I'm a poetry man. I'm like, no! But it was actually still good. She dedicated a song to her mother. That was my favorite part. It was really nice. And then finally her set, she woke up some. Like she started bringing out all these other entertainers. So she brought out Brandy. And Brandy did the I Want to Be Down remix. So, they brought out MC Lyte. They brought out, I think, was it Yo-Yo? Was it Yo-Yo who was on there? I'm starting to forget. They brought out whoever else was on the remix. And then, the best part, she brought out Missy Elliott. And Missy just came and tore it down. They should have had Missy be one of the headliners. Missy came out there, just brought the energy. Like she had the dancers and Missy just swagged out. Missy's dope anyway. So I'm in there reliving my middle school and high school years. Just the one time I can go to a rap concert and know all the lyrics. You couldn't tell me nothing. And so, Missy comes out there, she kills it. Who else was on stage with her? Dang, there was so many people. Hell, I forgot. Just know that Queen Latifah brought out like 10 people. 10, like a bunch of female rappers from back in the day. Oh, Remy Ma came out. Did her piece. I'm missing so many people. I know like Queen Latifah had like a really energetic set when she started bringing people out. But either way, brought all them people out. It was dope. That was a lot of fun. And so, and mind you, we still drinking and, getting drinks in between each set. So I'm in another world here. Because that was the rule. Me and my friend were like, we're just going to have fun. There's no rules. Let's just live it up. Nobody's watching us. We're not going to know nobody. We're going to be good. Turn up. And mind you, we ran into so many people we knew the whole time. And so after Queen Latifah's set had wrapped up, Mary J. Blige was the closer for that night. And of course, Mary J. Blige is the auntie anthem singer up in there. So she probably kept the energy up the most that night. She had a really great show. Lots of fun. And the thing is, you forget Mary J. Blige had so many hits, man. She was just hit after hit after hit after hit. And she didn't even do them all because she had that many. I was like, dang, Mary, you better get it in. Like, she was just straight killing it. But like I said earlier, the only beef I had with the festival is because everybody's not there for the same reason. A lot of people just don't know how to stay in like one place and enjoy the show. It's always people like running and going here and going there. And so if I were a performer, it would kind of be discouraging because you really, really have to work that stage in order to keep that audience engaged. Because as soon as you perform a song that they don't know, the way they start going back to get drinks and going back to get a hot dog and going to the bathroom and then they got to go call their grandma. I'm like, man, that was driving me crazy. So if you just would stand in the arena and just look around, you could see how the sections would clear out and fill back in, and it's kind of weird. Like, I'm used to going to actual concerts where everybody in there is like, yeah, we're ready to like turn up together, because I like to feed off the energy of the crowd when I'm at a concert. So if everybody around me is all dry and dull, and I'm, because listen, me and my friend, when Mary got to doing Love No Limit remix, a little doom doom doom, do you know when Mary be doing her little Mary dance and just like me and my friend, but then the people around us were just kind of like, hey, this is cool. I was like, okay. It was like these two young girls that were sitting next to me. And I don't even think they knew none of the songs, so they didn't really care. They didn't want to be there. They were just waiting for I don't know who. But anyway, so Mary was dope. And then that night had to be probably my favorite of Essence. I'm trying to remember what happened. So one of our friends, this guy that we went to school with, he works for, I think he works for AT&T. But he had one of his really good friends. I think AT&T was putting this party on. And mind you, this was a day party that had been going on all day and then turned into a night party. So if you saw that clip of like Al Sharpton during the daytime dancing that time, it was the same party. And so when we got there, it was at the Ritz-Carlton at the penthouse upstairs. And this is like some industry party we really weren't supposed to be in. When I tell you there were literally 40, 50 people in this party, and some of the people in the party, like April Ryan, that's the woman who's always clocking and getting... what's her name? Checking what's her face? What's that lady's name? Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Always cooking Sarah Huckabee Sanders, the black lady. April Ryan, Angela Rye, a bunch of CNN people. That D-Ray guy to be wearing a blue vest, he was in there. Janet Jackson's, I don't know if he's her manager or her A&R, this guy Joey Harris. He was in there. A bunch of music people, like some execs I know by face but not by name. It was like literally me and my friend, we were like the only two people in there that weren't somebody of like stature. So I was like, okay, so let's play this real cool like we're supposed to be here and blend in. Let's not overreact. And so this was just a really, really cool party. I like the vibes. And I could tell that this was really something that was really just for like the crowd that was in there, not people like me, because the people in there weren't even dressed up like nothing. They were all like, April Ryan was dressed real like casually. Everybody was just in their regular clothes. Like, you could tell this is a place like where people like celebrities and stuff go when they want to get away from the masses or the general public. And so the vibe was just really cool. It was on the roof. The weather was good. Music was jumping. Of course, I'm out there networking, just talking and meeting people and everything like that. I did meet D-Ray. He was actually cool in person. I'll leave it right there. He was cool. He was cool. I got to meet April Ryan. She was actually really cool too. Like, I just told her like I appreciate what she does. Like, it's not easy to sit there and have to be lied to by the White House press secretary every day, and then you get vilified in the media for it. Then I was wondering if she ever saw any videos where I was like really cooking the people at Fox News when they were trying to go in on April Ryan that time. I was like, I wonder if she knows who I am. Maybe not. Probably not. Most likely not. And so that party was really cool. And we were there till, I want to say 4 or 5 in the morning. Like, at that point, a lot of the little celebrities had left, but we started making friends with some of the people that were there. So we literally hung there. I met a lot of really great people. I mean, I was passing my business card out like nobody's business. It was just a lot of fun. Really great party. And so we, goodness, what did we do? I think after that we went home. Like, it was 4 or 5 in the morning. We went home. I think we slept till 2 o'clock. We were knocked out. Slept till 2 o'clock. Got up, got in that car. We went and we got some, where did we go? We went, this place called Superior Seafood. I think that was the longest we stayed in a restaurant. We were in there for at least 3 hours, just eating, ordering up stuff. Like, when I tell you we spent so much money just eating, yo. I mean, we had the alligator tail and the this and the that. And I'm a big seafood person, so I was eating all kinds of different fish, and they were giving us the different drinks to try. We were in there so long, and I was like, okay, we're not going to be late. Because, listen, I'm not missing, Janet is closing tonight. We ain't missing her. No ifs, ands, or buts. And so we had some time. So I think we left there like 5 or 6. And then we went to another party, which was another rooftop. Actually, it was a rooftop party at the same hotel at the Ritz again. And so this one was a cool party because it was some of those same people. Like, Roland Martin happened to walk in there. Yeah, I'm not really crazy with Roland Martin, so I was like, yeah. He came in there all, like, big celebrity. Hello, everyone. I'm like, what's up? And, yeah, so that was cool. But then we ran into, like, there was a bunch of Howard people in there. But not Howard people that I went to school with, but, like, different generations. So We took this group picture because it was like at least 12 of us were from Howard. And the coolest thing was there was this woman in there, and she was a part of that first class that protested at Howard back in, I forgot what year, either in the 60s or the 70s. And then there was another woman who was in there, and her class protested back in 92. And when I was at Howard, there was a big protest on campus either in 09 or 2010. And so it was kind of like different generations in there. So we just took a big like Howard group photo. That was cool. And we stayed on the roof. I met a bunch of different up-and-coming artists, that do music that were there, and just some more networking, passing my business card around and stuff like that. Really, really cool. And then so on my way out, we're going out, and at this point it's like a group of like 6 of us that we all ran into each other, so we're hanging for the rest of the day. We're on the way out. While I'm coming out, I run into Janet Jackson's manager again, or the guy, because I met him at the party too. Introduced myself, this, that, and the third. Real cool. This time he remembered me. I was like, yo, shoot, maybe I'm about to get a job. Like, just hire me right now. Hire me right now. So, he just, he was actually coming to the hotel. We were leaving the hotel. And so I was trying to figure out, like, how am I going to meet Janet if he's going to the hotel? That means they're all about to go nap and stuff because they probably just did sound check. So I'm probably not going to be meeting no Janet, which I did not, but it's cool. And so, he's like, oh yeah, but I'll invite you guys to this, party, after party if you guys are open to come, which was kind of cool. And so, him and his little team, it was like all of Janet's team, like her managers and whoever else is on the tour, those people, not the people performing, but the ones like on her administrative team, they were all going back to the hotel. So we were going, get to the Superdome, and this is the funniest thing. I wish I would have recorded it. There's this older woman, has to be at least 70, at least, maybe even 75. She has on an outfit from like a throwback Vanity 6, Apollonia 6, Nasty Girl sex shooter music video, and she's on the sidewalk just busting it wide open and twerking and got a tip jar. I'm like, yo, this is a lot. I mean, and she had a whole crowd around her. And mind you, you gotta remember, like I said, she's 70, 75, so gravity has hit some of them body parts. I'm like, yo, go ahead. The confidence, you do you. And I mean, she had a full crowd. It was the most interesting thing. I didn't record it because I'm like, I don't even want to record it. I don't know if I ever want to see that again. But that was it was entertaining. But she was killing it. I'm not gonna lie, she was getting it in. Like if she was a stripper back in like the 70s and the 80s, I know she was working that pole. She probably was one of them strippers that could do all the acrobatics on the pole and hold herself and slide down with the one leg and then crack the heel. Like she was getting it in. But anyway, get to the Superdome. I'm ready. This was my favorite night because these were the main 3 people I wanted to see. Fantasia, the New Jack Swing bit, and of course Janet Jackson. And so, start out with the Teddy Riley piece. When I say Teddy Riley knows how to work a crowd, like it was a straight party for like an hour and a half. I gotta pull up and make sure I got all the names right for all the people that were there. I didn't even write them down, never mind. And so, Teddy Riley comes out. Now the only thing that was funny, Teddy Riley swore he was Michael Jackson that day because the whole time, I'm like, Teddy, we don't need that part. Janet's gonna do that later on. You just go ahead and get on that keyboard and get the come on jam. That's what I'm ready for. So he comes out, and he's doing first he starts doing covers of the songs that he's produced. So he's doing some of his throwbacks. He brings out High Five. Remember High Five? They were the all summer long we've been together. I like the way the Kissing Game group, they came out, which is dope. Genuine came out. He did Michael Jackson Remember the Time, I think it was Michael Jackson Remember the Time. SWV came out. Of course, they did I'm So Into You. They did Love Will Be Right Here. I was confused though because they didn't do Anything, which was what we were waiting for. The remix of Anything to Anything You Wanna Do. Dun-dun. Like, we were ready. But they did Weak, and it was dope. And listen, me and my friends, we were so turned up on our side, singing hard, singing for our lives, just out there just belting and hollering. Ain't no telling what we sounded like, but the sound by that point in the place was so much better on that third night. They had the sound together. So, I mean, it was a lot of fun. They brought out Blackstreet. One of them in the group got so big. But you know what? It's okay because that gave them lungs some strength. Because when I tell you old boy was singing, like, listen, I have no fears of ever gaining weight if it's going to give me some singer lungs. Like, the big people lungs where they can just hit notes and hold them and sustain them for like 3 hours. He killed it. So Blackstreet kills it. Guy comes out and performs, and that really just brought the energy up. And they're performing all the classics that I like and everything like that. Aaron Hall decides he wants to randomly do an impromptu session, so he does like 2 or 3 of his songs. He was high as a kite, by the way, but it was still entertaining. And so he does his bit. Who else was out? It was so many of them. Blackstreet. I'm missing some people. Damn. Oh, Wreckx-N-Effect. They come out, all I want to do is on a zoom, 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 and a boom. So I'm reliving my whole elementary daycare years, when I used to be singing all them little Ratchet songs at the playground. So I'm over there reliving all of that. I'm still missing some people. There were so many people he had in his set. And I mean, when I tell you it was so dope. Damn, who am I skipping? I'm gonna be so mad when whoever I'm skipping, I'll probably put it in the video on the side. You just have to figure out who it is. But I mean, kills it. Teddy Riley's piece was so energetic. Energy was so high. Just a straight party. And then the most interesting thing happens. So there's this nice woman who's like sitting to the side of me, and she's been there, and like she and her friends have been partying too. And then out of nowhere, this is during in between while we're waiting for, I think, Fantasia. Either Fantasia, yeah, it had to be from Fantasia. And she's like, are you on YouTube? And I was like, and I only do that because sometimes I don't know if they ever recognize me in public from YouTube, I don't know if they're gonna say like, I really like your work, or if they want to punch me in the throat just based on what I've said. So I didn't know what reaction I was gonna get. But no, she was actually really, really nice. She was like, I just really appreciate what you're doing. Like, she shook my hand, and it was good. I was like, thank God. And so that's like the third time that's happened this year where somebody's recognized me. So I'm like, maybe I am getting a few subscribers now. Okay, cool. So it was kind of cool. And I ran into a lot of people actually. Like, the coolest thing was, I used to live in Italy. I used to live in Vicenza, Italy. This girl that was in my 4th grade class happened to be there at the same time. Now, I haven't seen her since we were 9. And I was like, it's crazy how, 2 people who can live all the way over in Italy and then live in 2 separate states end up in the same room on a random weekend. You know what I mean? That was kind of cool. And then I ran into another person who used to post on one of the same music forums I used to post on when I was a teenager. So he was cool. It was cool to catch up with him. Like, I've never met him in person, but we always knew each other through like social media and all the music forums. Because I was a music head, so I used to post on all of the music forums back in the day, like allhiphop.com and Blurry and Live Journal and all of those. I used to post on all those things, so that was kind of cool. Then Fantasia comes out, and Fantasia, when I tell you she knows how to work a crowd, Fantasia, to be honest, she should have had a longer set because her set was really, really good. Like, she was the one I've never seen her live before, so I was really, really excited to see her. And when I tell you, Fantasia I knew she was going to give me everything I asked for. Like, Fantasia, when she comes on stage, she takes her shoes off, she pulls a tambourine out of her bra, she sings straight from her uterus, she just gives you a full show, and that's exactly what she gave. And the cool thing that I'll say about like her set, and I want to say Janet's set, is that both of them did sets for their fans. Like, Fantasia did a lot of songs that the audience didn't know, that really only her fans would know. Like, she did that song Selfish from her first album that most people probably wouldn't have known. And so she did like Crazy off the last album, which is probably a lot of people haven't heard that album. So it was kind of cool. She was in good voice. But then she had everybody in the audience crying because she had this bit where, I don't know if it was her brother or her cousin or somebody, but one of them had gotten a really, really bad accident, so they were paralyzed. And so at the beginning of this video she plays, he's saying, well, my goal is I just want to come and see you at Essence when you perform. And then, she gets ready to do Lose to Win, and then guess who rolls out on the stage in a wheelchair? He comes out, whole audience just, and people in there crying and jumping and hallelujah and this, that, and third. Like, Fantasia knows how to capture your emotional appeals when she's on stage. So Fantasia just killed it. I just wish she could have been up longer. If I could have rearranged the show, because there was a few things I didn't think made sense. I don't think it made sense to have Janet Jackson go after Fantasia. Like, or have them in the same night, because they're 2 different extremities. Like, if I would have changed it, I would have put Mary J. Blige and Fantasia in the same night. And on the night that Janet closed, I would have put the Snoop Dogg bit. I would have had Missy Elliott have a longer set, the New Jack Swing set, and have Janet in that set. Because it was like it was too many different extremities when it came to the performance that night. Because the opening is, okay, the New Jack Swing bit, cool. And then you have Fantasia, who's more of like the vocalist, the squaller. There's people who are there specifically because they want to hear some really, really good vocals, like some dope vocals, some riffs and some runs, and they want to hear somebody sing from the diaphragm and sing from the gut. Then you have other people who are there for the Janet Jackson show, and they want to see the dancing and the visuals and the backup dancers and the lasers and the this and the that and the different outfits. And so you kind of had a weird blend of the audience. So the audience was like half and half for Fantasia's set, half and half for Janet's set. So it was kind of weird. And then of course it's a festival, so everybody's not there for either act too at the same time. So you got people walking around and going and getting soda and stuff. So it was weird. But Fantasia had a really, really dope set. She probably was my second favorite of the whole night, only because you already know who was going to be my favorite. Actually, she was my second favorite. My third favorite was the New Jack Swing bit, and then I really like Janet. And so, of course, Janet comes on. I'm ready. Now, I've already seen this tour. Like, she was been on tour all year, of all last year. So I just saw the show in November. But she changed the entire show around. So I was like, okay, cool. And so Janet was a lot of fun to watch as well. But like I said earlier, I think the issue with Janet's show was that Janet got on stage so late that everybody was tired. Because even me, I was exhausted by the time she came up. To be honest, I could have taken her, left her at that point. Because it was, I'm going to say 11. And when she finished, it was 1:30 by the time we got back to the car. So I mean, she was on stage for a long time. But when I tell you Janet killed it, like Janet got it in. The only issue was again, I think with somebody like Janet Jackson at Essence Festival, you can't enjoy her unless you're right there in the front. So because I was so far in the back, I was like, man. And then whoever were working the screens with the cameras, they always had the worst angles. Like somebody like a Janet Jackson or Beyonce or Chris Brown, or I'll even say Bruno Mars, but the acts who have a lot of dancers and stuff going on the stage, you need a lot of pan out shots where you can see everything on the stage, because when you just zoom in on one person, you're missing out on a lot. So during a lot of her dance breaks and stuff, they would keep doing these random pans to maybe one dancer or a backup singer, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, so they kept like missing pivotal points. And so I think if you're a casual fan who's not really into her like that, you probably couldn't enjoy the show the way that somebody like I was going to enjoy it. So a lot of people kind of like, it was cool. I think the production, you got lost in it if you didn't have the right seat. I think the best seats to have were like right in the front or in the upper sections on close to the stage. The further back you got, it was harder to see everything because the stage is so wide. Like the way that it's set up in there, it's horizontally set up like the football field, and so the stage is very wide. But I mean, Janet got it in. She did so many songs. It was just like Mary J. Blige again. You forget she had so many hits. And then Janet also did a lot of her own album tracks. So her show was really specifically for her fans. So I think casual listeners, they still enjoyed the show, but they probably got introduced to a lot of songs they didn't recognize. She did a lot of songs from her All For You album. Like she did Truth, she did You Ain't Right, she did Feel So Right, she did Doesn't Really Matter, which she never performed, so I was glad she did that one. And so she did a lot of B-sides. She opened with this song called The Skin Game, which was never even released. It was like a B-side to one of her songs off the Rhythm Nation album. So most people, like, when she opened it, I was like, wait, I know this song. I don't think anybody else does though. Hey, all right, Janet. And so, you know, she opened with that. But I think what was cool was, like, Janet really danced her behind off on this show. I saw her in November, and she was getting it in then. But this time, she really, like, stepped it up. Because one of my critiques of Janet as a performer for around, like, 2011 and 2012 is that I felt like she was kind of going into auntie mode as a performer, where she was kind of holding back, and she would just do a lot of walking back and forth. And she would do the dancing on the big numbers like a Rhythm Nation or All For You. But other than that, it was a lot of pacing back and forth. This show and the show I saw in November, it was a lot more dancing, and this one was really a lot of dancing. I mean, she's on the floor and flipping hair and doing this and bringing new outfits, and I really enjoyed Janet's show. The only thing was I was just really tired, and I could tell the crowd was tired as well too. I think the audience ended up enjoying it towards the end when she started doing the bigger hits, but she had a lot of portions where she was doing songs that people didn't recognize. So of course people go get some popcorn, go get a soda, and the only people really paying attention are the die-hard fans, I guess. And so, but no, Janet killed it. And then, of course, she had the audience in there crying, too, because she started talking about her dad, because he had just died like a week or two before. And we really thought she was not going to show up, because, some people, when things like that happen, you're not thinking about performing. You just want to be with your family. But she stuck it out, and she talked about, you know, how she was going to cancel the tour, but she was like, what her father wants. So she's crying and talking about it. Audience is in there crying. But, of course, she did an up-tempo to make everybody feel better. So she did that. It was a good show. Rhythm Nation, of course, is Rhythm Nation, so there's no way to mess up Rhythm Nation. I mean, I had a really great time. Janet, she has my heart. I really enjoyed her show. I almost want to go and see a different show of her concert, not at Essence Festival, so I can actually enjoy it and be around. You know, I want to get a better visual. I was so far back that I missed so many details, because when I left, I was kind of like, oh, it was cool, I guess. And then when I looked at all the clips on the internet, I was like, she did that? I didn't see that. Like, I mean, there was all kind of extra stuff I missed. I'm like, damn, I was too far in the back. And the guy missed so much stuff on the screen. But she was cool, and mind you, she was still singing. That's what I liked. Like, the mic was on. I said, good job, Janet, you better sing live, because Fantasia did drop a line in there. I don't know what that was about, but when Fantasia was singing, she said this bit about, there will be no lip syncing on this stage tonight, after she had just hit some big note. I was like, I don't know what that's about. I don't know if you and Janet are beefing, but okay. But yeah, so Janet, I mean, you know, she did lick the big dance numbers, but a lot of the stuff she was actually singing. I was like, cool. So you heard like the pitchiness and a few notes that she did not quite hit. I was like, there we go. I know the mic is on. There we go, Janet. So anyway, Essence was fun. And then like the party, I was too tired, y'all. I was exhausted. We didn't make it to the after party that she was hosting. I couldn't do it. I was like, I gotta go to sleep. I'm burnt out. Like, but overall, Essence was a lot of fun. And mind you, I think we experienced maybe 10% of Essence. We missed most of the day concerts. I missed Ledisi. I missed Miguel. I missed, there's a ton of people we missed. The Ella May girl with the boot up chick, we missed her. We missed all of the Super Lounge shows. We barely went to the convention center. Really, we just went to New Orleans and had a few concerts. So you know, next year is their 25th anniversary, so I know that they're probably going to have a really, really big lineup. So I might go again. But overall, it was a lot of fun. It was just some great escapism, like just a way to get away, just live a little bit. So I had a lot of fun. Met a lot of really great people. Saw some great people. Overall, all of the performances were really, really good. Even Queen Latifah, even though I said I wasn't a fan of it, she was in really good voice. Her voice carries very well, and she has sustainability. Like her voice is very rich. Erykah Badu as well sounds very good live, and Jill Scott. And I've seen Jill Scott like 4 or 5 times. So, you know, I wish Jill could have been on a little bit longer, or I wish she had her own set. But I mean, she's hosted or headlined Essence before. But overall, I really enjoyed it all. Like I said, I think Fantasia, the New Jack Swing Bit, and Janet were my favorites. But I also really, really like Missy Elliott. They need to get her on there as an actual headliner. And MTV, I know y'all got your award show. Y'all need to give Missy Elliott her Vanguard Award already. Y'all keep giving people all these credit for music videos, but y'all keep acting like Missy Elliott doesn't exist. That's a problem. But overall, it was a lot of fun. I would definitely do it again. And that is my 2 cents on Essence. If you got to go, share your thoughts. What worked, what didn't. And that's it. I'm out.